I have been requested by so many people to do this video around hidden costs when you are importing your car from Japan to Kenya or from any other source, because you can also get your car from Dubai, from Singapore, from Thailand, from South Africa. But for me, my experience is with Japan. And the question that I'm going to address today, are there really hidden costs, that your agent does not communicate to you, or they can hide from you? And then once you make your commitment, they catch up with you later. At the beginning of the process, some agents might not tell you everything. And then once you make your commitment, you have made what we call an investment to a point of no return. You have already given him your 1 million, and you cannot let that 1 million go. He starts to tell you other stories that were not part of the initial conversation. So today I want us to address this question. Are there actually any hidden cost when you are importing your car from Japan? I want to make this one very, very simple and straightforward. That's why I had prepared a few notes here. And you should know, when you are importing a car from Japan, the only thing that is uncertain is the tax. So if you are asked for extra money by your clearing agent and it is not related to tax, then that is a red flag. And the beauty with tax is that it comes to your email. When your car details are entered into the KRA portal by your clearing and forwarding agent, the amount of tax that you are required to pay should be sent to your email, so you are able to see that amount yourself. So nobody will actually be telling you. So if the amount goes above what your agent promised you, it doesn't mean that he shortchanged you or he played a game with you. Sometimes it happens that KRA can change the goalpost and then tax can go up without notice. So that is one uncertainty you need to have in mind. That is the only thing that cannot be predicted. The second thing that you cannot predict when you are importing is exchange rate. Okay? And I told you, right now when we are importing, we have now grown in confidence with our Japanese partners. Right now we are allowed to pay in installment. So you can pay 20% or 50% and your car shipment can begin. And then after some days or after some 1 month, you can finish your second installment. Remember, when you make your first installment, you made it at a certain exchange rate. So let's say if Kenyan shilling today is exchanging against the dollar at 130 shillings per dollar, that was the exchange rate that was used by your agent to estimate your total landed cost. So if you come again after a month and you want to do the second installment and you find that the dollar has actually become stronger against the Kenya shillings, and you pay your second installment at 135 shillings against a dollar, then your total landed cost will go higher. And with regard to that, I always advise people, if you have the money, make your full payment in one installment so that you forget the stories of payment in dollars. Because if you give me the money to pay for you, or you pay that money directly to the agent in Japan, you always pay that in dollars. So you don't really need to wait. If the Kenya shilling is favorable for you to change today, do the full transaction in one single round, because the second one can become uncertain and you might feel like now things are starting to go up. And one thing I came to notice, if someone has already made their mind that car will cost them 3 million, they really don't want it to cost them even 3 million and 10 shillings. They want it to stand at that point. So make your payment in one installment. And the other thing that you also need to understand, some of these categories of cost that I always give you, they include so many things. So when we talk, for example, of total landed cost of a car, it has 5 key components, and I will break them down for you so that you ask these things to your agent, whoever they are. You don't have always to come to us, because this channel, we are a public education channel. We also help people import. So if you learn here and go and apply it with your agent, we will also be very happy, because we will have helped you. So I've said there are 5 components of car cost when you are importing it. There is what we call the CFR. So that is the car cost and the shipping. I'll come back and break that down further. So that is the first one. The second one is the clearance fee. Okay. The third one is KRA, or what we call tax. So that is the third one. The fourth one is the carrier. If you will be that car will be delivered to Nairobi by a carrier, or it will be driven by a dedicated driver from Mombasa to Nairobi, there is a cost for that. And the cost number 5 is the agent fee. Of course, you can understand we don't do all these things for free. There is a small cost charge that we will tell you, maybe buy us coffee, buy us tea, maybe it's 10,000, it's 20,000, maybe 50,000. I don't know how much others charge, but if you come to us, we will tell you how much we will charge you for facilitating the process. But those 5 things are more complex than I have mentioned them, because they are very, very comprehensive. For instance, if you talk of CFR in context of buying a car from Japan, if I tell you, let's say the CFR of a Subaru Forester, okay, X-Brake is 1.8 million, or let's say $15,000, that costs normally for a car from Japan includes the cost of buying the car itself. So that is what we call the FOB. It includes the cost of inspection. It includes the cost of repairing that car if it fails inspection. It includes the inland freight, because the car actually will not be exported from where it is. It has to be taken to the port. And one of the key things that can come up as a hidden cost in that whole CFR is the cost of repairing the car in case of failed KEBS or QISJ inspection. Okay, my agent so far has guaranteed that all my cars pass inspection, apart from when they have tires issues. So we have never bought a car that has a gearbox issue, an engine issue, a steering issue. No problem has ever been found with our cars, apart from the fact that some had worn out tires or cracked tires. And when it comes to replacing those tires, it is entirely the cost of my agent in Japan. Whoever sells me that car is the one who is responsible for repairing it. I have had stories whereby cars fail inspection and your agent says you cost share. If you need to replace the 4 tires, they say they will do 2 and you will do the rest, the 2. Okay? And then you remember, Japan prices are high because they deal with original parts. The tires are original manufacturers. So even buying like 2 tires from Japan, it can cost you like even 30 or 40,000. And you don't want that. So before you dedicate your money or you choose an agent, ask them, if a car fails inspection, whose responsibility is it to fix whatever will be the issue of that failed inspection, so that it doesn't come out as a hidden cost. For me, if you come to me, CFR is inclusive of everything. If you pay for that, the cost of that car until Mombasa, whatever happens in between, let's say failed inspection, that car will be repaired at my agent cost, and you will not be included in giving that money. But when it fails inspection, we always communicate the reason why it failed. Okay, we don't hide that to you. If it is cracked tires, if it is check engine light, we thank God we have never had those issues. We always tell my people what was the reason why it failed. Okay, so let me talk again about the clearing and the clearing fee. When you talk about the clearing fee, you really need to tell your agent or to ask him what is included in this clearing fees, so that at some point he will not ask you money for car registration, I don't know, for logbook, for number plate, I don't know, for port insurance. You know, when I tell you, for instance, clearing a car from Mombasa is 65,000 or 75,000, that cost is inclusive of everything until that car is fully registered. All right? So there is nothing my agent or myself will ask from you. What I give you as clearing fees, it is inclusive of everything. I know some agents will tell you at some point, we need 5,000 for registration. At another point, they tell you, we need, I don't know, 2,000 for port insurance. I don't know, we need this. No, when you discuss with your clearing agent, make sure that you are very categorical that the clearing fee that you pay, which always ranges from 65 to 75,000, is inclusive of everything, and nothing will be asked from you at that point. So, I already spoken about KRA. KRA is the only biggest risk that you take when you are importing, because that is a goalpost that is only controlled by the Kenya Airport, the Kenya Revenue Authority. without notice a lot of time. So, but what they did 2 months ago, I would say it was quite radical. They made a big change that has never happened before, whereby some cars tax was increased actually by double. That is something that has never been seen before. So from our own point or from our perspective, we don't expect such a radical change to happen in the near future. Otherwise, the price of cars will go double. So maybe even if there is an uncertainty, it will be maybe around 5% or 10% increase. Maybe your car, by the time it arrives, utakuta imeongezewa by 5,000 or 10,000. But to the tunes of double, we don't think that will happen again in the near future. So about the carrier from Mombasa to Nairobi, that is straightforward. Some companies will charge 30,000, other will charge 25,000. And also your agent fee. So your agent fee is facilitation. So you agree, some will charge a percent of the CFR or the percentage of the total added cost. Others will charge as a percentage of the FOB. Others will give you a flat fee, like myself. Normally, I give a flat fee of 50,000. So no matter which car you are looking for, my fee will be 50,000 Kenya shillings, and then nothing else at that point. So guys, there is nothing like hidden cost. If you find an agent who keeps telling you, add this, add that, add this, they are not straightforward, because these 5 costs, they are very, very straightforward. I have right now imported close to 30 cars, and I have not had a single instance whereby we went out of the 5 categorization. All these have always been the basis of our pricing, and we have not found any single circumstance that have forced us to move out of that. So I hope you guys have learned a thing or two. It's always my ultimate joy to share these experiences. And I always tell you guys, I shoot these things from experience. So I always do these videos from my Mazda CX-5 here. I like it so much. We just clocked 30,000 kilometers. I brought this car as my trial so that I don't import things that, guys, I had never had an experience. So I did my trial with my own car around 7 months ago. It arrived and it was in very good shape. It had only 20,000 kilometers and it is serving me very, very well. And a lot of you are actually telling me to sell you this car. But I want to make it clear here that I am not selling it until further notice. So I will continue to use this to demonstrate to you that you can also import a very clean unit. Only at 20,000 kilometers, guys, it was close to brand new. Everything that you see in this car or any minor scratch, it is because of the harshness of how we use these cars in Kenya, our roads, our other motorists who are not very friendly. But the car came in extremely, extremely clean. And actually, I can tell you, everybody mwenye nimeletea gari, I feel like I have brought better cars for other people than I did for myself. You can now imagine which car you can also get if you come to me. So cheers, guys. My number is there. Reach out to me any day, anytime, and we will have this conversation.